looks like we're good. Oh no.
What?
We didn't check the audio quality.
We can stop the streaming, right?
We could, but
no. Well, let's just wing it.
We'll wing it.
We'll wing
it.
Do you need to do, man?
Yeah. Well.
Have you done it on the YouTube app?
Yeah. So you'll.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
You'll be able to. How about I mute us for a minute and we'll see if it's coming through. I'm not sure if we're coming through or not.
Is it stalled?
I've got no idea. I'm not sure if we're coming through.
Oh,
we go. We're all good.
It's compiling.
Alright, let's do it. Alright. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to WAYPN, the weekly WAYPN.
The weekly WAYPN.
I'm Cal.
I'm Sunny.
And we have with us...
Massive Joe.
Massive Joe. Mr. Joe R. Sutton Adventures.
Alright. Yes. So, Joe, you've got limited time with us, so we figured that we would let you comment on our stuff. So we've currently got the screen shared. Can you see the post we're looking at the moment? Fantastic.
The red-ish dragon.
Yeah, it's apparently not a dragon. It's a monster from Monster Hunter World, and this is sort of it starting out. And there's where I sort of get it to at this point. I'm really trying to go with the references here, but I figured I'd just sort of show you the whip stuff because that's the whole point of the whole point of the show. Is this
all airbrushed and
washed? It's a mix of airbrushing and dry brushing and regular brushwork.
Yeah, it looks great.
But I think we've got. Where do we have him all done up? We got him all done up somewhere, don't we?
Yeah, but I'm not sure if you've posted.
Do we have him? I thought we had him.
He's in the Discord.
He's in the beginning.
In the beginning.
So I think that's as close as we get to seeing him all done up, because currently he's the only guy who isn't finished because I'm waiting on a water effect to dry. So what do you think?
No, I love it. Like, have you ever tried oils?
I have tried oils, but he's soft plastic, and I don't know how oils interact with soft plastic.
As far as I know, they should be fine. Like, I've used oils on all sorts of models and never really had a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It only really matters when it comes to doing on the paint, really.
Yeah, yeah, say again.
Very nice. I'm really liking how the effects have been done.
Yeah. So
I like the red and then the black with the hand under works really well.
Yeah, I just followed the references that they had, and like I'm actually really happy with how the reference with how the base came up. But currently I'm just waiting on that water effect.
Is that good? Is the middle part of the base where it's just base at the minute?
Yeah, so I put sand in there, and like this has got all stuff over that. So where's old mate? So I'm just gonna close this one.
Would you like to bring it up within the Discord?
I guess I could. I'm just a little worried about the showing.
Yeah, there's no blur in that.
Okay, all right. Well, let's go.
Yeah, there we are. Here we go.
Is he here?
Yeah, it's further up somewhere. Yeah, I think that's it.
This is how he's looking at the moment, except There's a whole lot of white right here, right now.
It's the water gel effect. Still drying.
Yeah, it refuses to dry. Because,
It does take a while, depending which one you got as well.
AK
AK
Interactive. Yeah.
AK are pretty good. Like they're solid company.
Yeah. It's just of course, because we've been absolutely frying in Australia. The moment I put a water effect down, it starts raining.
It's true.
True. But yeah, so there's that big boy right there. But I figure let's take a look at some of the other ones that I've actually finished off. So what's this guy called?
Anjanath.
Anjanath.
But that's just, I just think that's how it's pronounced. I could be wrong. But if you read it as normally, it's like Anjanath, and I'm just like, doesn't sound quite correct. Or less cool anyway.
But yeah, he's purple, grey, and black dinosaur.
Like I love the transitions from colours to colours. Like you've got the like at the top of his face, it's sort of the same purples, but it goes up to the darker. Let's say he's had fights with things, scarred, and
You're talking about around here?
yeah.
So that's
it just darkens. It goes up towards the end of his face. And
that's dry brushing just there. But for the most part, it's airbrushing and then just regular brushwork to get his coat to be a different color. And yeah, and also dry brushing with the grey. Because but I also did like a sort of really thinned down paint to try and blend it a bit. So like a combination of I wouldn't call it a contrast, but it's sort of similar.
And you've also done some pattern stripes on the underside.
Oh
there,
down
yeah,
the
it's
back.
a bit difficult to see. So Joe, what do you think Henry has done well or poorly, or where do you think he could improve?
I do like the natural color transitions, although like purple's not traditionally a natural color, but then you look at nature and it's there.
Yeah, it is.
I like it. Like most people go, oh, natural colors, browns, earthy colors, and stuff like that, green. But yeah, no, like the transitions through the colors are smooth. Like I do like even if you go closer to like where his feet are, like they definitely look dirty rather than as clean as the rest of as clean as other parts of him would be. Okay.
Well, I think the big thing is like I just tried to follow the references as best I could.
Because I'm guessing the game references as well. Have you gone straight from the game, or have you gone?
I went straight from the game files. So pretty close. But yeah. I'm just seeing who's on and if anyone's saying anything.
Yeah, I'm also keeping tabs on the chat with my phone, waiting for people to talk, but no one's on yet.
But I think I did not so much like I'm in two minds about this guy. Either I did really well with him or just shockingly. So you can put me out of my misery either way.
You can wait. We're not crafting this morning. You can wait. Just like a child.
The feedback is for the child.
All good. All good.
I like this one. I like the let's say backwardsness of the highlights, so it's lighter
Oh
underneath.
yeah, like that was
But
hard.
I think that's quite clever because as a natural creature, if it's out there fighting in the wastes or whatever, it would be dirtier on the outsides, and the bits on the inside are the cleaner parts.
I got no idea. So the actual game file creature in that in those more wider areas, it's got like hair popping out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like strands of hair popping out. So it's very unusual.
Well, I would have to agree with Joe on that in a way, because when if you've got pets at home and if you sort of just open up the fur a little bit, the fur that's closest to the skin tends to be lighter, and then whatever color your pet is, that fur color will be at the top. Tends to be that way. I think because of melanin and whatnot that doesn't reach as far down into the skin area. And so it made a lot of sense to me looking at it, but I know you had a bit of trouble with getting it right and all that. It was difficult because it's like a reverse of what you normally would do.
So I I sprayed in white in those sections, and then I angled him so that I sprayed that sort of grayish blue color on an angle so that it wouldn't hit the white. And then I dry brushed the black, and then for that to be the fade, and then I just did brushwork to line in those the more solid black, so that it would have more solid tips. So I hope it came off all right, but
yeah, well, I wasn't sure if you'd used some of the white contrasts because they've been quite good for backwards highlighting as well.
Oh yeah, the what's it called? Apothecary white. I've had one I've had one misadventure with it, and it peeled up half the paint, so that's why I
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, like I'd spent just hours and hours like highlighting this white, and I wanted to give it more of a shadow. So I used the Apothecary white, and it didn't dry properly, and I tried to remove it with the brush before it had fully dried, and then it peeled all the way to the base layer, and I just lost it. But so
it was very demoralizing.
Yeah, it was. But we'll move on.
If anything, I think your base work has been excellent.
Yeah, this one I've noticed a lot, and so I've got a bit of an affinity with green anyway, and then the red just pops.
Yes. But like, the client made me dull it down a lot because apparently it looked like what was nail polish. But I was just following. I was just following the game file, but the client's always right. So you
yeah.
So,
Have you tried glazing it down? So
no. So I just used a black wash to dull it down a lot, which is this is its dulled down version, so you can imagine how much brighter it was before. But yeah, so I think I'm not sure. Like I kind of wanted to bring it back up, but like I said, the client's right. What do you think of the water effect there with the surf? Does it come through?
Foam. Yeah, no, definitely see it. Like, is it just water effect when you foamed it up, or
it's water effect, and then I used snow effect and sort of feathered it out.
Yeah, no, but yeah, that's like so. There's a guy I've been following that does a lot of dioramas and stuff, and if I say my friend, you may already know who he is. If you don't, I'll send you who he is.
Alright.
But he basically does tank and World War II stuff, but he's been doing a lot more terrain-ish stuff, so like buildings and things like that. But he's done a lot of water effect stuff,
Yeah.
and yeah, like the snow's very good for the foam of the surf.
Yeah, I did get it off a diorama builder a very long time ago. So like this is sort of like almost third hand knowledge from like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah,
So that's how I pulled it all together. But I believe we're stealing some of your time now, aren't we?
yeah, like the littles. Well, he's cleaning at the moment, so like he's a bit he's busy, but yeah, I need to crack on.
All right. Well, we'll let you go, and thank you.
Yes, well, it's been lovely
Thank you for
chatting.
joining us.
Yeah, it's a big help because obviously, you know, when it comes to criticizing our own stuff, it's a bit difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's like
Yeah.
here's
This is
our
what I've done.
yeah. All right. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you another time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great.
All right.
See ya. See ya.
See ya. Bye.
Have a good one. Bye bye. I think we shouldn't hang out live because that'll show his profile and stuff.
Oh yeah. We'll just let Clyde do his thing.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So next up, we've got James Salisbury. Would
Yes.
you like to read?
I have been very busy this week between sleep and work. Basic zombie miniatures from Marvel Zombies Resistance 7 down and more to go.
Now,
Nice.
I think he ends up finishing these at the end of the week.
Let's take a look. Should we wait to see the final product or?
Yeah, but I think there's no harm in commenting. I think with a lot of them, okay, I think that's him just sort of showing what he's working on.
Yeah.
So I think doing brown boots is a lot better than how it was before, because I think with the brown boots, it looks a lot nicer, at least to me.
I think because it adds a bit more of a natural look. It's not as stark as black, I suppose.
Well, no, because I think they were just going to be white before.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
I
I
think
was
brown
like-
makes a lot more sense,
Yeah.
especially with zombies and where they've come out of the ground or wherever.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they were sort of out of the ground zombies, that sort of thing, but yeah.
I do think that the brown just adds a sense of cohesiveness. I think white was a bit too stark and a bit too clean for white.
But I think the bases really need to go to grey, you know, like, because I think the white is a bit too stark, but we'll see that.
Ooh.
See, he loves us now because
it's
he commented.
It's Justin's girlfriend.
It's
And-
he did compliment it quite a great deal before, didn't he?
Yes. So, Rainer says, another round of work. Feeling good on the skin texture, basing it. Yeah, such a incredible transition from where he was in the previous picture. We saw a lot of the purplishness still from the purple tones that
we
he used.
can still see some of it, but you're right, it's not nearly as stark as it was before.
Yeah, and he's really brought it up in a way that it freckled skin.
Yeah, no, that was what Justin was talking about, and he's right. But I tell you what, this hair is super glossy. You know, you don't even need to take reference photos with gloss to know where you're meant to put the highlights because
exactly.
it's so bright.
And I wonder if he even needs to do any manual highlights.
I think you still should.
Yeah.
Still should. But I mean, like, because like, take a look at the work that he's
put
putting
in
in.
everywhere else. Yeah.
And like, it is just such a like. I don't want him to take this wrong, but like, he is putting in such a lot of work for such a sort of like a model that like I feel like this isn't a model that kind of deserves this level of work, because like it's sort of I don't know, not cutesy, but like it's not like a really sort of serious sort of figure, you know what I'm
You're
saying?
saying, okay, hold on. Let me just try to figure out what you're trying. Her style is still within the anime,
Yeah.
so you feel the art style should be still towards a more cartoony finish.
No. I think like he's putting in such good work. Like this sort of level of skin work deserves to be on like a realistic woman style
Yeah,
miniature.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, not the cartoon figurine type of.
Yeah, because like it's such good work.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, because it's not the skill, it's just the realism that's applied to a model that's not in a realistic scale, design.
Yeah.
Because there are models that look more like human proportions and features. This is
Well, I think the proportions aren't that bad. I mean, she looks woman-like.
Yeah, like
besides
exaggerated.
besides the like, I mean, besides the face, like this could be a girl cosplaying as, like, if that head was different, like this could be a girl cosplaying.
Yeah, it's a bit in between, isn't it? Like in between anime and realistic.
Because like you look at this and like I have seen women with thighs like that and arms like that. You know, it's
it looks like a real woman's body.
Yeah,
but the head looks anime.
Yeah,
which is it's like a bit of a odd place to be in.
Yeah, and maybe like that's what drew him to it. But like because it is such good work with the skin. And like I think Justin could see way more where he was going with it than we could, because like look how nice, like especially up here.
Yeah, I was instantly drawn to the shoulder area, especially in the whip one before this one. I was like, oh, look at the freckles on the so realistic. And yeah, and I love how the fabric is coming along. He's really brought out the sort of tightness of the fabric, and you can almost feel what kind of texture that cloth, which is really great.
Well, I'm not sure how far along the cloth is, but let us move on because we've got more to do. We've got a lot to do.
Ooh.
So, first off, we got brushstroke, and it actually came through this time.
Yeah,
so
apparently he was marked as spam, which
I've got
is so dumb.
Oh man, I felt genuinely terrible about it, because I'm meant to keep track of these sorts of things, and I'm like, when did this happen? And it's like, oh, that PS 5.5 or whatever that gets through.
Even though you deleted it.
Yeah, no.
When it was pending, I was there. I saw you delete it, and then it still, for some reason, ended up on the WAYPN post.
Yeah, but brushstroke, long-time member, posts his stuff.
Totally a scam.
Yeah, and it's like, what?
Who are you?
Yes. Who are you? But we shall continue up.
We saw the video; it was really good.
Yes, it was. Alright, so next up we've got
Sebastian. Yep. Painted these 2 banners for a good friend of mine. It was so much fun to do some freehand. I'll try and do it on other minis. Yep.
So one of the things that I wanted to comment on these ones, right, is like these eyes are so good.
Oh, I really did love it.
But like I looked at the rest of sort of the parchment effect that he's got, and I think like the parchment effect could be worked on, but I think I wouldn't have noticed it if the eyes weren't as good as they are. You follow what I'm saying?
I suppose. I thought that the texture of the banner gave it more like one of those tan leather look.
Yeah, it might be like, it's probably, since it's chaos, it's probably skin or something terrible like that.
It's not that far off from feeling like,
maybe,
but closer to a leather. I feel like.
I just feel like the banner itself, right? Like you, I think if you're gonna do this level of work, but maybe because you see all that white trailing off. He probably just left that white there and then went from there, and like it feels like have you ever seen that meme where it's like you draw one eye perfectly
and then the other eye's botched?
Yeah.
You're just like, you smell, oh yeah, it's getting good.
Because like it feels like this is the perfect anime eye.
It does look that way, yeah.
And then like the next one is just like a googly eye. Yeah,
it's true. It's like you
not
can't quite
this one, but I'm saying like the other imaginary one that you'd put with it, sort of thing.
It's like you could see the perspective, you could see the direction, you could visualize it in your head, right? And it came out great. And then the second one, you're like, I think I know how to do it. And then you try it, and it's like, nope, just doesn't work out the same way. Sorry, we're just looking at the chat.
So what's it say?
So Terraforming Studio says, my voice. Do I sound like that? Lol. Yes.
Yes,
you sound like a person.
Yes. But yeah, like I think it looks really nice. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. But like if I was to work on something, I'd work on getting the sort of more paper effect looking nicer, or like whatever this banner is meant to be made out of. Like, because I think that all of the freehand's really good.
If it were meant to be paper, how would he approach it? Paper texture's kind of difficult.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, like, if it's a banner, it would probably be cloth.
Cloth, right? Yeah, cloth, or usually, it's flayed skin. That's chaos, as you mentioned. But perhaps we should move along.
Yes, perhaps we should.
Our next figure by Mr. Andy Dickinson. Very quick post. I moved the grass shaft on Boromir's base as you discussed on the feedback video, and it does look better. So
it does.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we talked about the plate. Okay, let me just finish. And then I thought size comparison between the two models would be fun. Whoa, yeah, that's big.
Yeah, but like it is such a difference. Like he feels so much more commanding.
Where was the tusk
So it
before?
was right here.
Right, okay.
And it like sort of hid up to his knee.
Right, and I remember now.
And now you got that sort of curve like this.
Yeah, the visual, the visual. This is not. It's a line directing your eyes, like line of eyesight or something. I forget the term that we use. Line of sight? Oh, that's a game term.
Yeah.
Yeah, no responses on the chat so far.
It's alright. Remain calm.
Yes.
But like I do think that it does look a lot better, and it is just
What?
I just love Joseph over here. Boromir, I don't mean to alarm you, but maybe you should stop playing that tune and look.
He's like what is that story? What boy in blue, trumpet boy, and then he's sitting by the hay and he's like playing his bugle or something. Trumpet. There's a kid story.
I'm not sure what it is that you're on about here,
yes.
But yeah, no, like I think I'm just shocked how like that small change.
Yeah, makes it so much different, right? And now it's it was only covering less than 10% of the model tuft.
Oh yeah.
But just moving it back, it's like suddenly I see it, and then it's just like I couldn't see you before.
Yeah.
But now I do see you, even though it's just your foot.
But let us move on.
Oh,
so
there's a poll.
Joseph, he wants the poll.
The model in the pic in the first post is the magma masochist. Yeah. His base is sculpted with what I assume is lava running through it. I could paint it as a filthy pool or a stream though, which I think fits the visuals of my work better. Which way should I paint it? I've never painted lava before, so if you have a guide you like, please share it below too. Swamp guides appreciated as well, or it'll get a mucky wash or two and lots of gloss.
So I really don't have any guides or suggestions for swamps, but I am glad to see where the what
I just had a remembrance.
a remembrance.
Yes, I am the remembrance.
Okay.
So Steven did the swamp for his frog blood bowl team, if you remember. So perhaps he pop over, give some tips on if he wants to go for a swamp, because you did mention that fits your world better, so it only makes sense.
Yeah, well, let us move on and we'll take a look at what Joseph can.
I've put the red guys on hold for now to get more stuff ready for the final stages. Is the pink bow too similar to their pink hair? Should I paint the bow a different color? Edit, I don't know if it's entirely clear at this angle, but the hair and cloth all use completely different colors. The hair shades down to near burgundy, and the cloth shades down to lavender. In person, the hair is much more vibrant, and the cloth is bordering on pastel. Okay, let's take a look.
Alright, so let's try a zoom. Yeah, no, like I can definitely tell with
the difference with
with
that one.
But like with this one, it's not nearly as stark. You follow what I'm saying?
You can tell that they're like different pinks, but they do look quite similar.
Yes, at least here they do. But over there, they look vastly different.
Yeah, like that's like a proper lilac and the well, close to a hot pink kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely
or like a
warmer
light
pink.
mauve.
Oh yeah, mauve. The first thing that caught my eye is the middle lady with the cloak. Because I really love the way he did the shadowing for the tummy area. It's so on. I do think maybe the breast could be.
Oh
it
yeah,
seems a bit stark.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, but other than that, like wow, it's so difficult to make skin look that in my opinion. So well done on that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I think he's been absolutely smashing things out, and like, it's funny how each time we see it slowly evolve, because I remember like not too long ago these guys were looking pretty rough, but they're getting finer and finer. Like remember the stone here used to look more like bone.
Well, we could tell the distinction.
No, I'm saying before, this used to be more bone coloured than stone coloured.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And, like, just little things like that have really changed since we've seen them last. It's not a lot, but it's more than enough. And,
it's looking very nice.
It is looking very, very nice. But next up, we've got
Mr. Jason.
Yes.
I could keep tinkering and trying to get things smoother, better, more refined, but at some point you hit the point of diminishing returns. And I am well and truly there. As pointed out on the stream, my last picture had barely noticeable difference, and this is probably even less. So calling him done, now he needs a base.
And we'll comment on him when he needs a base, but I just want to say something on this, because like this is one of the things that I thought was really important, right? I could keep tinkering and try and get things smoother, better, more refined, but at some point you hit diminishing returns, and I'm well and truly there. And like this is why I love WAYPN, because someone reads that, right, and they see somebody who's been working on this and working on this, and they're just like, look, I'm not getting returns out of this, right? And like, imagine if you just saw the finished product of this and you saw the base all done up, everything's done up. You'd just sort of be like,
wow.
Just deflated, you know, like I could never do that.
Yeah.
Whereas like Jason's just been at this hammer and tong. And then you see him just go, put his arms up, and like this is the epitome of art is never finished.
Yeah. And then at some point you're just like, you know, when do I end it, you know? Like,
and that's what we're facing with the walls. I mean, like, we have hit the wall. But like that's the thing with it. You at a certain point can't keep going. You just got to go.
Okay,
Yeah.
Enough is enough.
And I think that's it with this guy. You know, you just go, okay, I've been working on this for who knows how long. I'm just going to call it a day and move on.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. So, one of the big things that I really enjoyed out of this is seeing, you know, Joseph come in and he's saying, you know, I'm going to try and participate more. And, like, honestly, just a few people continuously commenting on posts, it makes such a difference. And, like, the reason why I ended up doing it in this video format is because what ended up happening was I ended up realizing that I'd spent something like 3 or 4 hours at one point typing comments, and I was just like, not on this one, but well before, and I just realized if I just said this live,
yeah,
you know, I'd be, or just recorded it, I'd be way better off.
Yeah, it's not only faster, you also sort of, you get your thoughts out, sort of just say it, you know? You don't have to think so much about what to say, all that sort of waste less.
All right, but let us move on. So we've got Jason Tate once again.
Thanks for all the feedback and support during this experiment. I have learned a lot of new skills and challenged myself during the attempts. Here's the finished based result. For the little rivulet in the crevice, I didn't have any water effect gel or medium, so instead used a mix of green and brown contrast paints with gloss varnish instead.
All right, well, let's take a look. So,
wow.
I like the basing because it mirrors his colouring.
Oh, yeah, I would agree with that.
So we got these nice yellow flowers, and like it mirrors the steel with the
grey. Yeah. And the green matched nicely with the teal as well.
So I don't think like there's, like, I look at this and like there's absolutely nothing wrong with the basing. It's very nice basing. But I think the biggest thing it does is make us focus on the model. Like, it doesn't take away from the model.
Oh wow, look at the hair. All those sort of micro strands that he painted on. Yeah, we didn't see this in the first time when he did the very first post that he made. Was the first edition of this samurai dwarf. And looking at it now, after all that transformation and redoing this project pretty much again, it's just...
I think Terraforming Studios has put on a face like...
embarrassed. Well, there's nothing wrong with your voice. It's
nice. I think he's like looking at this and he's like, oh my good lord.
Yeah, it's often that way when...
I think as for a sort of makeshift water effect, I think it looks alright. I don't think it's like the best. I'm like, you're not, but like the thing is, this base looks nice and everything, but it helps set him as the centerpiece, because you're like, you look here, right? You're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. There's some flowers, this. And then as soon as you hit him, it's all eyes on him.
Yeah.
There's nothing sort of fighting for attention with him over there.
Exactly.
You know? Which I think you could say about a lot of my monsters. But what I will say is I think I would be very happy to own this model.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, I think that there's... When I take a look at it, right, like, there's nothing that I look at here where I'm like, all right, this bit needs to be majorly changed or anything. And I think that's one of the biggest things. Like, somebody looks at it and, like, there's nothing that can be changed that, you know, would improve, or at least obviously change. All right, well, let us move on. So next up, it's me. And so I'm just gonna sort of quickly go through the process of it because like I Joe was very nice and he's like, oh yeah, I like this, I like that, but I'm here for the abuse.
If anybody is online, please comment.
But like I felt like when I was first doing it, right, that the wing textures were a bit too light. But in the game, it's got like these bits of green in, and like I'm not sure if that green comes through, all of that sort of thing. But I think once I end up doing the second area, I think it looks a lot better. But at the same time, I'm not sure. It's just I felt very unsure doing all of these monsters.
Yeah, which is something that I know, but I think they look really nice. I think when we saw the reference pictures, it was hard enough trying to decipher the colors because of how muted it was. Everything seemed to blend in with each other that we couldn't really figure out what color was on the reference itself. But I think you've done a good job sort of pulling whatever colors your eyes could spot out of it and maintain a level of mutedness, but also give it enough pop of color that it's interesting. Because we've got to remember that it is a model for the tabletop. And
but I am aiming for character level.
No, yeah, what I mean is gameplay for tabletop.
I think I accidentally closed the next one.
Oh dear.
And all I want to say about this warhammer thing is it was a sanity check. Like, we talked for about, I think, 5 minutes at the end of that one.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, we're just sort of rambling a bit, but it's so hard because, like, here, like, this is sort of home turf, if it makes sense. Like, so if people are, like, complimenting one of our videos here, it's like, of course you guys would compliment one of our videos, you know? Like here,
this is the house family.
Yeah, well, like I think of it more as the home game. You know, there's away games and there's home games, and this is the home game.
Right.
Whereas that was the away game, and like they're like, yeah, no, I like it. No, we're like, what? We're not absolute garbage people.
Yeah, we're like people see us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next up, we've got Lance Davenport. Would you like to read?
Getting close. A few places to touch up and base work. I do like where this is going. What do you think?
All right. So, yeah, that was the one I accidentally closed.
Oh, okay.
So we'll take a look at his stuff here. I do believe it's finished here, but I think like the yellow sort of complements the green. I think if this cape was red, it would contrast more with the rest of the model. But like that's a simple color choice thing. I don't think like that it's done badly or anything. I think, you know, I think it could use some more shadows and such, but we know Lance and what he's going for. And I think it's hitting all of the things. Everything is readable, which is important.
Yeah.
I think that there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And that's the big thing. You know, like I look at this and I'm like, that is a perfectly readable model.
Yeah.
Alright, so let us move on.
Oh, yes. Mr. Chris Lee, and he's new. Welcome.
Yep.
This is a whip, and I'm about to get into painting the skin, horns, armor, etc. We have to take a look at the in-depth pictures because the paint that he's used.
Yeah, he's got a glow paint.
Yeah, so the green, there's this sort of like I took one look at it and I was like, wow, how did he achieve the airbrushing technique? Have such beautiful transition, all these different colors, right? And I didn't realize this green already felt like it was glowing, and I just thought it was just a saturation until he showed us pictures in the comments of this post of how it looks glowing in the dark.
Oh, is it in the?
Yeah, I believe it is because I did see pictures of it. There it is. There you go.
Oh wow.
Look at that. Can you imagine like having this bust in your whatever room that you've got your your display models, and he's just sort of glowing in the dark, and it adds so much atmosphere.
Yeah, no, because like that is a very powerful glow there.
Yeah.
And like it's also the way that he's oriented the glow. It's like a reverse zenithal.
Yeah, it's the under lighting is more
underlit. That's
Yeah.
the word for it.
underlit, and it's more dramatic.
Yeah.
Very
It's like a
cinematic, yeah.
horror story sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you know, despite the fact that he looks like a horror story here he just sort of looks like a clerk almost.
Yeah, like
Under
just
the
a
face.
regular guy.
Yeah, he's just sort of like, hi, I'm Alien Bob.
Yeah, Alien Bob.
You know, and like he looks so normal and naturalistic.
Yeah.
Like his uniform is a bit bizarre and all of that sort of thing. And it's just like, well, what do you do, Alien Bob? Well, you know, you got the wife, we got the kids, you know, yeah.
Got jetpacks.
Yeah, you know, got the 501k, you know.
But yeah, I can't wait to see how this.
Yeah.
Excited for this.
But
Excited.
the transitions are just so,
So
beautiful.
I can't wrap my head around it. Really, absolutely wonderful.
I
Yeah.
think it's probably a lot of airbrushing. I
No,
would
yeah,
say.
it's definitely all airbrush, I can tell, but just the level of like precision control you'll have to have for something like this.
But I feel as if this week, you know, I have sort of dominated a lot of the things.
It's a really fun project, and it's really nicely done too, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, like I thought, you know, like that, like 1 sec, yeah, that I thought I did really well, which we see finished up over here, where he's got the stick coming up.
Yeah, like he's like, I've crushed this log because I'm so big.
Yeah.
Stompy.
Yeah.
Stompy.
But like, this technique I sort of learnt from Joseph. So I was a bit like, why are you giving me curry about this? Huh? Why are you giving me curry about this? But yeah, like it was, I think like it came along, but yeah, they've been really. Oh no, what have I done? Okay, yes, no.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it was just so weird and wacky. But next up, we've got our famous actor, Will Smith.
Yes, after a long slog, I finally finished painting the hunter and the hunted box. NGL, the Wilder Core are
Sorry, not Golf League.
not Golf League.
Mm-hmm.
The Winter Core are a bit rough around the edges. Mainly because I just got to the phase where I had to get them done for my own sanity. But my real pride and joy this week is the mall pit. Still got a little more to do, but it's definitely what I would call table ready. And I'm very keen to throw some stormcasts in there with my ogres. Yeah.
But yes, I saw these guys.
They're doggies.
Yes.
Yes.
They do need some basing though, but like I thought this looked really cool and all of that.
Yeah.
But he's made a video for it, and I'm like, Will, we cannot play this video because it contains music, and if we do the music, then
I might get copyright struck.
yes.
But it was so funny.
You know what? I'm so glad that we stopped the notifications and everything because
it's still coming through.
yeah, I know, right? I know. But I think when it comes with these guys, I think like that coloration looks really nice. It's a nice fleshy color. You know, it's red enough to like feel sore and aggravated. But not so red that it doesn't feel flesh-like.
Yeah, and I think the cleanliness of the paint job itself is really well done as well. With the way the teeth that's coming out is paint very nice and precise and clean. Great dry brushing on the rock texture and the claw or bone textures. Very nice piece.
I think the only thing I think about is just, you know, those really tiny tufts I have?
Yeah.
I reckon like maybe one in the corner here, just one up there,
Just
that
a
sort of.
little bit of green.
Well, just something to sort of break the rest of that up. Like, I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. I just think I look at it, and so these guys are good and fine, but I gotta say it, this very blurry picture.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like, we can't really focus on the other models at the back. We can see fairly clearly the dogs.
The dogs look nice.
Yeah. That little beagle.
Yes, it is a little beagle.
A little beagle.
And then, like, I just look at, like, this guy, and I'm like, are you a bit wobbly? Are you a bit off? And then I'm like, yes. But yeah, I really did, I really do like the interaction from other people here. Like, I love the hounds, you know, and he's like, you know, there's him there with Flanders, release the hounds. And next up.
It's you.
It's me again.
It's you again. Who cares about you?
Oh, so this is where the whip of that guy was.
So you did end up posting.
Yeah, I must have, but like I obviously didn't see that there.
Yeah, so this is before you've added the leaf litter and the grassy bits, and of course the water effect.
Yes.
I didn't actually realize that you had plans to put water effect over the
sand.
The sand. I kind of liked it just as is.
No, because like the whole idea of the sand was like, otherwise why would the sand be clean?
I guess I can see your point there. It just made sense by itself because like you had the leaf litter and everything.
Oh, and this guy became progressively more and more yellow as time went on.
Because client asked for a change in color.
And I think it was, I think I sort of, like, I was going off his references, and his references were much more darker and muted green.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh yeah, but have you seen this toy? I'm like,
you didn't show me this toy.
Yeah. I'm like,
Jagras is finished, mate. And then he's like, no.
No. No, I'm not like that. But when I was a bit like that when he's like, can I make the claws yellow green? And I'm just like,
it's painted.
Yeah, well, I was just like, none of the references have it as yellow green, and like the whole reason that you have it as red because it pops against the yellow green.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm just sort of like, yeah, no. But anyway, this is time for you to read out.
I don't want to read. It's too long.
Yeah, well, whose fault is that?
I got excited. I didn't know what I was talking about.
Well, it's time for you to...
Time for me to type. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna basically say that I had an idea.
No. Read.
Here's my Whip Wednesday for once. Henry and I have started playing Frostgrave on these. I meant to say minis. These are minis that have that we 3D printed and assembled the parts from Anvil Industries. This is my first time doing Xenothol priming, but I wanted to test a theory. The usual black to white Xenothol is a little difficult for me to paint over, especially if I'm using contrast over the deeper black shadowy parts. And sometimes the colors don't translate the way I'd like to, either due to the underlying influence contrast's payoff. So I'm treating it as something like underpainting sketch with oil painting, where artists use a thin sepia oil paint to set the sketch and values of the paint. And the colors laid over it will be desaturated by the browns in a more natural way. And I think it'll help me build color and shadows more easily based off lighter and warmer tones. Looking forward to using contrast over skins and hair with these.
Yeah, I'm also interested in seeing how it works out. I've tried it with a couple of minis myself, and I think I haven't tried it on one of these ones yet. But yeah, we really did have to sort out those arms because it's very obvious with the close up. Like it's not obvious with the mini in real life, but she's got male arms.
Man arms by accident. But
Yeah.
I think it's not bad for like her role in this. She's a runner.
Runner.
So like runners are pretty fit and whatnot. I mean, definitely not buff in the arms, but I think it works for her, for that particular character. Too bad.
I'm doing a lot of nodding again.
Yes, but yeah, I do some more progress on this later on.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I posted it.
Oh, you did post it?
I did post it.
I don't believe you.
But it's missing for some reason.
Is it?
I don't know. I did post again. Maybe it's further up. Who knows?
We'll see.
James says, Grunt Zombies models are done. Just got the bases to do and I don't feel up to it right now. We'll paint them at a later date. Please remember that these are just basic zombies, that in a game you are killing a lot of them. Got it. So I'm not going to spend more time with highlights when I paint the player characters, superheroes. I will be putting a lot more effort into them individually. Makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think, like, see, and that's important to know your goals. I do think, like, when it comes to certain things, like, if you can just dry brush to increase an effect a lot, but I think looking at these, right, the way that he's sort of done them up, right, I don't think adding a lot more will really help them. But the one thing I don't get is why do they all have these gold badge sort of things?
Yeah, I don't understand what is that about.
Yeah, like, because it's just sort of like, okay, these are regular guys, but it looks like they're part of the X-Men and they're wearing Thor's outfit, but in green.
Exactly.
And I'm just sort of like, hold up. Something ain't right. But, like, I don't think that there's anything wrong with them. And, like...
Extremely readable models.
Yeah, extremely readable models. And he did say he's going for tabletop. But once again... Bases are too wide.
I think he said he was going to do it. He's just not up for it.
Yeah, not yet, because like he's probably going to do it all together. But still, like I just feel like they just don't feel right. But you got to commend his brush control because you notice here on a lot of the zombies, there's hardly
anything on the base.
Yeah.
So well done on that. Okay, on to our next person. Mr. Sebastian, since we are showing a whip, here's one for a client of mine. Ooh, commission.
Alright, so let's take a look. Go a bit closer on this. It's quite a vibrant but dark green, but like I wonder what he's doing here because like that's just straight up black. This is just straight up black with
Is it straight up black? It just looks like a very dark green.
No, look.
I guess.
That's black. That is black. So, like, I'm not too sure what the goal is with that sort of thing.
Yeah, okay. Maybe you can add more, like, the NMM highlighting if you...
No, it's not the gold, I'm just saying...
No, like, with the metal.
No, I'm talking about the armor, the green.
Yes, I know. Like, you could add the, the reflective lines on the...
I'm not quite following.
So like when you have armor like reflective steel, you add the highlight of lines.
Oh, so sort of like there'd sort of be like a wavy line.
Yeah, something like that, or like just a straight line.
Like
and then,
a sort of
the way the light comes.
Yeah. I follow what you're saying now, but it's sort of like a filled in Y. No, I'm saying like so like you go like sort
like
of
something
like
that.
Yeah. And it's sort of like a Y, but the
I think actually it would be more like a stapler bracket.
Stapler.
You know the staple bullets? It's
staple bullets.
Yeah, staple bullet. It's like this shape. Like that's the staple bullet.
Okay, when she's saying staple bullet, this is what she is. Okay, I clicked on comments, so we might all be doomed, but...
Oh, it's oh no. Who's that?
So like that, like a staple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Staple.
You could have just said like a staple. Yeah, I guess.
The shape of the highlight is what.
Yeah, maybe.
But next one, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. It's Calvinoni.
Finished a nice troll.
Is he nice? I don't think so.
You know, it almost looks like the base is made of wood.
Oh yeah, it kind of does look like made of.
I don't know if that's intentional, accidental,
But
or maybe it is made of wood.
It looks like the rest of the model in the sense that it looked like it was contrast wash over it. It fits the whole aesthetic.
So the only thing is, once again, I think like he could afford to brighten some of these colors up because it's quite muted.
Yeah, I did mention that in the comment. He did reply, but I didn't quite fully.
Said loading.
They lean over.
One of the hidden details.
Yeah.
I am not sure what he's getting at. But yeah. Like I did think that there was one really interesting thing with this, which was the way that the stomach has a bit of that green, a bit of that red in it, to make it look a bit more skin-like, a bit more like it's been cut and roughed up and stuff like that.
Right.
I found that bit interesting.
Oh, what's this?
It's time for me to have a snooze while you talk about your post.
It was a Whip Wednesday. Gotta say, really happy with my little experiment of brown Zenithal Prime. It was really easy to do skin this time, as suspected. Paints Vallejo Succubus. I think it's Succubus Skin or something. I forgot to write the rest of it. Rosy flesh, pale flesh.
Well, let's just take a look. Oh yeah, sorry. Finish the sentence.
I think with flow I can finish faster. Once I got to the legs and hands, it took.
Okay, so we got succubus flesh, rosy flesh, and pale flesh is the ones you use.
Succubus skin.
I think succubus skin is pretty close to Bugman's glow.
Yeah, I actually thought that color looks a lot.
But I think like Bugman's glow's got a bit more red in it, I feel like.
Oh, that's reddish.
Yeah, it is reddish, but not quite as drunkard red.
Is it? I tried to follow Ninjon's video when he did that one video about painting heads under an hour, and then he talked about didn't matter if it's a lady or a man's head, you should do like a shadowy shade around the chin area and then brighten up as you go towards the top, and that's what I tried to do with. But yeah, I did do glazing technique with this one. I wanted to try and see how the brown Zenithal would interact with just direct contrast. Looking for like a flesh contrast to try and see what it might look like. Maybe I can get
Gilliman flesh
or something. Yeah, and then if it's too sort of dark or whatever, I can do like manual highlights on, make it nicer. But I got excited. Let us move along.
This was just me begging people to come along.
Yeah.
So we did get Joe to join us at
after begging for 11 days.
Oh yes, 11
after
days.
Much begging.
11 days, 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Oh, a day ago apparently. But yeah, like I think the like it is a lot more difficult to just comment on your own stuff, especially like when it's just like you and me, and I feel like
you're obviously sort of, you've got your own biases of views of your own work, and then someone else seeing you work on it directly, they'll have their own view of the artwork.
And this was sort of the joke that we had amongst ourselves, and like
because of the funny names.
Yeah, and like I just like, you know what, I'm gonna type it up. I'm gonna type up because I want people to joke more. I want people to have more fun, and like I just thought, you know, that was a bit of fun. But you know, We've been working. Sorry, another whip post. I've been doing a lot of work on these creatures from Monster Hunter World, but I've been asking who names these creatures. So you have Rethelos, Nordic sounding creature of myth and legend. Cool, cool, cool. Greater Jargus. Okay, he's a big version of the little Jargus, I'm guessing. So, okay, the iguana doesn't have a cool name. I get it. And then what's this one?
I pronounced it as Anjanath.
Anjanath. Yeah, Anjanath, your Indian friend who refuses to talk to any Hindus who are not vegetarian because it does not follow the teachings. Wait, no, it's a T-Rex. And then it's like Toby Kadachi.
Oh, that was my favorite. Toby.
Yeah, because like you said this one, like it's like your mixed race neighbor.
Yeah.
And like I guess that was like a really Singaporean thing because like somebody will have like, hi, I'm Simon, Zazaboo, or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, hi, it's Alex, and then like crazy last name.
Yeah, or something. Like you've got a regular person name at the front, or it's an English first name, and then a very sort of international surname. And then you're just like, oh, okay, you're a mixed race kid or person. And it was like, okay, cool. And it was just like, but we sort of imagined Toby as Toby's trying to be a normal kid. But everyone loves saying his name in full. Toby Kadachi is like so cool. And then he's just like, it's just Toby.
And it's like your mixed race neighbor who's really into poker. Or a viper dog horse. And remember, it's Toby with an I, not a Y. And he does not think it was funny when you set him, tried to send you out with Cindy from Different Strokes, the massage place.
Because it was Cindy with an I. It's just like, stop joking about my name, you guys.
Yeah, but the models are super cool. I didn't cut on the mold lines because last time I did that with a model, it lost some of the details. So I guess that's just the curse of soft plastic. And like that's sort of one of the things that I worried about. Like if I get rid of the mold lines, right, and it's stuffed up, I'm like, hi, look, I forever damaged your model, and here it is.
Right.
Right. But yeah, so. That was the iguana guy is, not Toby Kadachi, but I was.
Great Jargus.
But I was really happy with how the hair came out with this one.
Oh, I really did enjoy.
Because like I think I ended up doing like 3 layers with the hair. So, well, first off, I colored it like a lighter color.
Yeah, like a sepia-ish, right? Yellowish.
Yeah. And then after I coloured it, the lighter colour... Well, no. So before I put that on it, so I coloured it like a bone sort of colour.
Oh, okay.
And then I put on Iridian Yellow, which is a contrast paint.
Yep.
But it's not nearly as bright as the
Imperial Fist.
And so after that, to sort of return a bit of depth to it, I added some Athonian camo shade, which is a green, as sort of my quote-unquote black wash.
Oh, okay, yep.
And then after that, each strand was done with voluptuous pink as its first layer, and then its second layer, I think, was... It's either Baal or Blood Angel red, and then whichever one of those is lighter again as the final one. So I was pretty happy with how that turned out. But the other thing I was happy with was just the patterning and stuff. Like, I think I did pretty well with the patterning.
I think the eyes also came out really well. But yeah, with this one, when I saw the patterning, I was like, oh, especially with the texture, like how much texture is on this model. It looked like real lizard, I don't know, patterning or something. But some skinks will have that sort of.
I was also happy with how I did the sort of face, like leaving the eye recessed with the darker color sort of thing.
Yeah. Like it's very realistic, very well done.
But this guy, I just followed the references, and I'm like, all right, just pray and hope because I have no idea what I'm doing here.
Turned out really good.
Well, I've got no idea.
I think it's nice. That's
Oh.
the end of story.
All right, fair enough. All right, so next up, this was him finished off.
Oh yeah.
So I said another whip. Actually, wait a minute. This one's finished. Doing a Joseph and showing them all off, but I think he came up really well on this guy.
Yeah.
And how's the Max Darth doing with the basing? So I guess it's your turn to comment while I cycle through these and then move on to the next person.
So I think the basing is done right. It looks like a real forest floor. Very well done on that. Like the little actual twig that you've added there.
Yeah.
Most of them. And I think the basing really just makes, like, it just elevates the whole piece. And you are giving yourself a very hard time about how it was looking. As I wait till it's based. And oh my god. It's so good. I think it's close to showcase level in my
Yes, you've said that, but I think that you're just trying to be nice to me. And
this... Oh yeah, sure. I'm so nice to you.
And this is Lance's Lady Orc all finished up. So need to move on and call this done. And see, this is one of the things that I like, right? We got people of different levels here. And we see that he's done up the scabbard and stuff. And like, I really have to say, it means a lot that he is getting this, considering he's got that injury.
Yeah.
You know, and like, he's really putting in an effort. And I think that this has come up really well.
I will commend him on the eye. The directionality is really excellent.
Oh, and he did add some depth to the cape, which is nice. Like, I think that this would be better off being red because it would contrast well, because it more complements than contrasts with the yellowish skin, and it would contrast very well with the
blue of the pant. Yeah.
But once again, just add some sand to the base. Like, that's about it. Like, there's nothing there where I'm like, all right, this majorly needs to be shifted.
It's Toby Kadachi.
Yep. So, well, the stuff is finally dry. At least for Toby Kadachi, it has. And it's really weird doing all of this painting work and then basing holds you up, waiting for it to dry. But I hope the basing shows the level of work I put into it. 2 more done. Aiming for character level. So this is Toby Kadachi.
Cobra Squirrel.
Yes, Cobra
Extraordinaire.
Squirrel. I don't know how the color fade went with the underskin. What would you call that?
Underbelly.
Yeah, the underbelly went, but yeah. But I'm pretty happy with how his basing came out. It's quite simplistic, but like you can see this guy hanging out around here, sunning itself on the rocks.
Yeah.
And, like, some big snake monster comes out to eat it, so it like runs off into the surf.
You know what it feels like? It feels like iguana on a little zen garden pack.
Oh, you know what he feels like? Feels like a pet iguana.
Yeah.
Like somebody's just like made up that little spot for him and he just likes to sit there.
Yeah.
It's not real, but he likes to sit on that fake spot.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. That means you've done a good job.
Oh, okay. Alright, so next up we got James.
Wanted to get my work in for the end of week review. Some more models from the Marvel Zombies board game. I don't know what they are supposed to be. 95% finished with the 2 guys on tanks with just some small highlights to do to make the boils worse. I tried something for the black around the base. On the table it looks fine, but in the picture you can tell it's glossy. Thoughts?
Well, I do think that it does look very glossy. Just try out a matte black and I think you'll be a lot better off because I think that really does take away. It pulls focus.
You want it very nice. Like you could use a Abaddon black.
Abaddon black would be fine. But I've forgotten what their black is called, the army painter one.
I wouldn't know.
But yeah.
I think it was just matte black, actually.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is just matte black. Just matte black. Just hit it with some matte black. I think you'll be a lot better off. But I don't think these photos are doing you justice, because he sent me a video of this and he's like, I'm really trying to push myself. So I think the reds come up well. I think I like the yellow. But these photos are really
too washed out.
Washed out, yeah.
Very bright, yeah.
So like, work on getting yourself a bit of a better photo area.
Depending on what you're using, I think the photo area is fine. It's just that if you're using your phone to take these pictures, just make sure to bring the brightness down.
We should find that short that we had from all that time ago about taking better pictures.
No, we just had the how to make a light box. Never actually made a how to actually.
I thought we did.
No, just the how to make light box.
Okay, all right. Well.
Yeah.
And then finally, Cal, just 15 minutes before we started.
I love this. I mean, look at him.
It's so colourful.
Yeah, 2 hard dress models. What is it? From Wrath of Kings. That's different. I've not heard of this.
You've seen it before, but I tell you what, like, this shows what Cal can do, and like, I look at these and they're like so bright and colourful compared to the rest of his stuff.
And I love what he's done with the belly of the green guy.
Yeah, and with like that sort of patterning there. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, they really have that sort of crustacean shell-like textures to them because of the slight gloss to it.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. Like, I think these are some of his best work. I do think he really needs to black rim his bases, though.
Yeah, that would just be the final thing to make your models really pop, because you don't want these sort of imperfections to take away the attention from the model. So black rimming just really helps fix it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond our control, we must be off soon, lest we not ever be fed again.
I'm gonna die of starvation.
It is Australia Day, and we have been promised a certain type of meal.
I'm excited.
And we have to be there at the correct time.
Yes.
Correct place.
At the correct place, at the correct time, for the correct meals.
I want to say big thanks for Joe being on this episode.
Yep.
But I also want to say a big thanks to Justin, who we had, a bit of a chat with after.
Yeah.
And just like the Warhammer podcast, it felt like a sanity check, didn't it?
It was. It was just really nice to have a
nice
chat.
people.
Yeah. Have a nice, like, sort of regular, let your head down chat and talk about things.
And just talk to people who are normal people.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's the thing, I feel like when I see some of the comments and then I come here and we talk with the people, it's like, oh, I just want a normal podcast for normal people. Like, the Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, or it might be Snatch.
But we can't say that joke because it mentions something that you doesn't like. So
it rhymes with gums.
Yeah, right, with gums.
Like brush control, having to fix your teeth, and definitely it's there's another word for an airbrush.
It's the pew pew, okay? It's just a pew pew item.
I think even saying that can be a bit...
No, it's not. How could that possibly be?
Seriously. But anyway, what we will do is we will sign off, and we got to get going to dinner.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Too bad for you. You're not getting this dinner. No. You get your instant noodles. Maybe.
It'll all depend on whether they're the Australians or not. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
And keep those brushes wet. Bye-bye.